Hey over there, Joe Lunchbox.
Enjoy Nightingale.
And today we've landed right here in Jerome, Missouri, a stone's throw away from classic Route 66. We are here to bring you a folk art marvel, Larry Baggett's Trail of Tears Memorial. Now, we're going to get into the history of the Trail of Tears and why Larry felt motivated to build his memorial as we make our way up this trail and show you what there is to see. Hopefully you like this kind of folk art, based off classic American history. If you do, you should like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment down below. All that's very appreciated, much love. But it's time to do this. Step right up, let's go for this ride. And if you are finding yourself here, just so you know, the hours are open on weekends from 10 to 5. There's a walking trail only. We have to park to the right of the entrance. Stay off the rocks, do not touch statues. Take pictures, I like that. Enjoy the fresh air, come again. Infinite blessings, love you to the moon and back. So sweet. And in case you don't know the Trail of Tears, in 1830, Congress passed the Indian Removal Act. This was approved by Andrew Jackson, who was the president at the time, and it started moving 5 tribes of Native Americans from the East Coast out to like the Oklahoma area, which they called the Indian Territory. One of the majority of the Native American tribes being moved was the Cherokee. There was also the Creek, the Chickasaw, the Seminole, and the Choctaw. Sorry if I pronounced that last one wrong. Now, it is a terrible thing. 1, they were ripped from their home. 2, they were forced to walk all this way. Now, along that way, 10,000 people lost their lives because of this. They walked through hard conditions. They weren't given food and water. They were just torn off their land and forced to move. Now, going from the east to west, there was many different routes they were moved. There was actually over 5,045 miles worth of different trails that make up the Trail of Tears, the paths they went. Now, where we stand now is actually along the north route of all those different routes of the Trail of Tears.
So, basically, Larry had this property. Him and his wife, at the time, they wanted to do a campground, but then unfortunately his wife had passed away, and because of that, he didn't really go further with that. So then, sometime later, in his sleep, he was basically visited by this Cherokee gentleman. He said it was like maybe looked roughly in his description like about 150 years old. And the guy was basically saying to him, he was like, you know, there was this whole trail that we walked along, and you're blocking us from continuing.
So the spirits
are still going, like they're still doing their walk, and you know your property is basically stopping us because there was this wall that he had. So from there, the older gentleman, obviously, goes and he goes, you know, like, what can you do to help us? You can probably build stairs. And then he built stairs, and then after that, he said that supposedly according to he said that the knocking had stopped, basically like because the spirits can continue their path, that they were okay.
And because that, Larry, who we have actually a statue of Larry here, that little staircase continued on, started being built in 1970s to honor the plight of the Native Americans. And that's what we're here to look at. We actually have the statue of Larry. You can see all the rock work that actually made paths, stairwells. I don't know which was the initial staircase Larry built, but we're gonna see everything there is to see. To the right of the entrance is a Native American, looks like with a water carrying container, and he's actually standing on a turtle. It's significant because in a lot of Native American legends, the turtle shell back would be the earth. We have a wishing well that says, Kickapoo, wishing you well. I like, besides the stones, we also have some minerals in here. We can see what would have been geodes going around. Very cool. Not just rocks. Even though this area does rock. I have a fountain spiral. Must have been cool when the water was flowing here. I figure we had a fountain where the Native American was pouring water. I wonder if that was a fountain, because we have the water wheel here and a Native American woman carrying her papoose with the little baby in the back. I think Joy found a sign-in book. Sign in, thank you. She's gonna let them know that we stopped by. Little sign-in booth. We have some blessings, an angel. I like how it's not lit, but it actually has some red glass so the light shines through and lights inside when the sun is out. I have a mailbox that's now a donation box. Here, this was Larry's mailbox. Sadly, in 2003, Larry passed away. This whole property fell in some disarray, but people have been restoring it now, bringing it back, preserving it, which we definitely appreciate. Larry did base this off the Cherokee Nation, but I'm sure he also took some inspiration from the 4 other Native American nations that walked the Trail of Tears. It's to honor that whole time, to honor the people that lost their life. It is a memorial. We make our way through the archway. Leave no footprints. Basically the principle of leave no trace. I know, if it was muddy, you would leave footprints, but don't disface stuff, don't litter. Guessing all this was at one point the water features coming down. Definitely was built for that. Would have been beautiful seeing it at that time. We have some sort of tower structure, a rock hanging from it. We can see with his lights. Up on the hill behind the trail, it looks like there's a Native American following behind a bison. You can see the smoothness of the statue. It looks like it was made from just some cement or plaster. The rock work is amazing. We can see one rock wall followed by another rock wall followed by another rock wall. The path does look like it continues to that bison statue, but we know Larry doesn't live here now. I'm glad people are preserving it, but I don't know if the people living there want us to continue any more up their driveway. So we're just gonna be respectful and take a few more minutes and look at the rock walls and the statues over here. Pay our respects and make our way out. Just simple stone walls held together with cement, but you can see some of the cracks over the years. The moss, the vines that were eating into it, taking its toll on these structures. Yeah, I really think that we'll use a lot of water features. Those the metal vents there, I wonder if water was supposed to pour out of them. Continue down all this and lead out. About to make our way through this arch. Some different symbols, some flowers. The moon's on it. And it makes a way to what looks like could represent a sacred circle. It's amazing how the walls are that raw cement and rock, but some of the sculptures themselves are just smooth as cement with just a single rock as the accent. Some symbols looking like roots are going into the ground. This one has some oak leaves, some acorns, a picture curving through, faces on it. This thing is so beautiful because it really isn't just stones. We have more geodes, more gemstones here, obelisks and slabs that were cut and polished, 4-point base. And if we look up this one, it actually has pennies wrapping around, almost forming its own staircase to the top of the tower, with little amethyst marbles on the top. And in the center of the circle, we have another Native American statue looking like he's reaching out, offering his peace pipe. He's wearing a vest that's made up of other stones. You definitely can see the folk art, outsider art feel of the statue. The base of this tower reminds me almost like canoes, or some sort of boat. I'm trying to make out what this is. It looks like some sort of animals. I can't see if they're carrying a pax or if it's fur. They sort of almost look like ears of corns. And the one on the right reminds me of a dog's head. This is the last pillar that we have. It has a crescent moon symbol on the top of it. The tower with the animals at the base has a eye with a blue stone as the center of it. Now, I really don't know where on the property Larry's house was, because like there's other foundations burnt down with chimneys. But I am glad someone is trying to restore it. We can see a lot of tarps and maybe some piping, like they're trying to put new plumbing for the fountains in. I don't know what's on there. It could be more new rocks to replace where things have broken. Trying to make out what some of the symbols. Definitely see an X, a triangle. There are no real plaques here telling you what everything is, but we know that this is the statue of Larry himself, based off himself down to the point that the statue is wearing Larry's boots. He literally filled his boots with cement, made the statue, covered it with plaster. Nowhere do we have a sign that says where the stairs are, but if we had to assume, we would say right to Larry's right, there is a staircase going up, and on top of this hill is a Native American looking up at the sky with feathered wings. That might be to represent the Native American that Larry saw in his dreams or his visions. Backing away, trying to stand in the road, we have another view of the Native American, arms reached up to the sky with the feathered wings behind him. All the other figures have that white plaster look to it. This one has been adorned with a red coloring. In the center of the Native American, we see a heart on it, right in the middle of its chest. The headdress adorned with feathers on each side, stones in the middle. Back of the car, we have a different angle of the Native American with the bison. And if we actually look farther up the hill, it looks like there are more statues around that house up top. So this trail, and there's also more stone walls. This memorial is definitely bigger than just what we walked. I just don't want to walk on people's personal property. but it is something to check out. So there you have it, Larry Baggett's Memorial for the Trail of Tears here in Jerome, Missouri. It is a smaller attraction, but if you're on Route 66 or around, it's worth checking out. Leave a donation, help so they can restore this, and just come show love to the attraction.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a memorial. I don't want to use the word attraction, but I mean, it's on Route 6. It's the best thing to call it as of now.
To the beauty of this walking trail with art,
folk art. It's worth coming to see. I think we could call this one.
I think so.
The Trail of Tears Memorial. Been there, done that. Remember, folks, safe travels.
Good eats.
And live life. Thank you, Larry, for building this memorial. As you look at it, we actually have some birds of prey circling overhead.